Hello, this is Mr. Craig, and I want to welcome you to the 21-22 school year. This is Honors Chemistry. I want to introduce the class and kind of take care of some things before school gets started. If you need to contact me, my information is right here. My email address is right here at mcraig@plainfield.k12.in.us. This will be my 24th, 5th year, I can't remember, I'm sorry, of teaching chemistry. I started at Avon. I taught there for 17 years, and this will be my 7th year. So this will be my 24th year of teaching chemistry. I have taught AP chemistry for 18, 19 of those years, so it's been a while. I'm starting to lose track of how many years I've been teaching. But honors chemistry is the first step in starting your chemistry education, and you'll sometimes hear me refer to this as baby chem. The next step after this class, if you decide to take more chemistry, would be AP chemistry. And then there's a class that I just created this year. It's organic chemistry, but it falls under AP environmental. So you'll actually get to knock out 2 AP classes and get AP credit while learning honors chemistry, which is, I call it general chem, AP chemistry, which is your first year of chemistry, and then organic, which is an introductory type class. It's not going to get you all the way through, but it's a nice foundation to help those students who are pursuing chemistry, medical field, all that fun stuff. All right, so let me talk about some things. So I've got my guidelines, which everything that you'll see from this point on is in Google Classroom. So that's what I use, Google Classroom. So everything's online. I mean, everything is currently there right now if you need to access it. So the very last unit that we'll talk about, that information's on there. Now, the schedule won't be up to date until we get closer to the actual date for each of those units and topics, because again, there might be some fluctuation where we need to add a day or take a day away or whatever, but the whole schedule's up. The grading scale, again, 90, 80, 70, 60. I'm not real sure what the grading scales are in middle school, but this is pretty typical in high school. I know that there's a thing called an A+, but sadly, you don't get the GPA points for an A+, so the highest grade that you can get is a 4.0, where if you had, say, a B+, then that's a 3.3. So there's no 4.3, so A+, so I don't even put A+ on here because who cares? I know you guys care, but it really doesn't matter. The way that the points are going to be broken down, exams or tests are going to be about 40% of your grade, quizzes 15, homework 15, labs 15, and then I know that sounds like 115% if you add all this up, but it's actually broken down into 2 parts. So this is your semester grade, and then the final exam grade is a portion of your grade that's separate. So really, the final exam counts as 15%, and then all of this is 85%. So you've got a weight within a weight. But if you're doing what you need to do, then you should be fine. Extra help. I do coach in the fall and in the spring, so it's very difficult to get a hold of me after school. But I am available 99.9% of the mornings. I get here very early. I don't have a problem with meeting with you and discussing any questions that you may have, but please do not wait until the day of the test to say, hey, I don't get this. And as you go through the class, you will find out that I do give quite a few review days, and I don't want you to be bashful. I don't want you to be shy and sit to yourself and say, I don't know what I'm doing, and let a day or two go by that you could have been asking questions. Be that young adult, stand up for yourself, be a self-advocate, and help yourself get through this class. If this is not something that you want to do later on in life, that's fine. Just make sure that you know what you want to do in life. But part of the problem, or part of the process of school, is to learn how to get through it, to problem solve. So again, if you need extra help, let me know. But we do have a lot of time in class that you can ask questions as well. Calculators. You will need a calculator for this class. Now, some of you might need to be taking higher level math classes either this year or in the future, but if you're not planning on taking Algebra 2 or higher, then this is the only calculator you're going to need. Now, there is absolutely nothing wrong with the calculator that you see right here. It's about $10 right now with the back to school specials that are going on if you get to the stores quickly. Some calculators that I would strongly suggest you avoid are these single line calculators. These single line calculators are really cheap. I mean, less than $10, and sometimes can be an easy draw to bring you in, but these are a nightmare to work with. With these two-line calculators, what I can do is I can actually go back in this little part here where you see these 4 arrows. That's your history. So if you do something incorrect, at least I can go back and take a look at what you typed in. On these calculators, you'll notice that there's none of those arrows on there to help you go and find a history. So please, 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 I'm begging you, do not bring a one-line display calculator into the classroom. It doesn't mean you're going to fail if you do, but again, if you can afford $10 to go and get a calculator, please go get this one. Now, if you are going to take a higher math class, let me suggest to you some good calculators to purchase. Especially tis the season to be buying calculators. My number one recommendation, if you're going to buy a calculator, and again, this is in July of 2021, but the TI Inspire CX2 CAS. Again, I don't get any kickbacks for this, but I do use these calculators. These are my favorite calculators. If you decide to get one of these, and I've had some students in the past that have bought these calculators and been very, very satisfied. These calculators require no batteries. They are legal for the SAT, ACT, all the exams that you're going to take, because the keyboard down here is not a QWERTY, I guess that's what they refer to as. It's in alphabetical order, but this is legal on the AP exams. It's legal on the ACT and SAT. So that's my number one choice, the TI Inspire CX2 CAS. And again, it's got to have that CAS in there if you want to get everything that you're looking for. Now, I found this and actually purchased one a couple weeks ago for $145 on Amazon. Now, what the math department wants you guys to get are these. And again, they look very similar, but the brains are very different. This calculator is a beast. This will be a great calculator to have in college. So if you're thinking about the long term, buying a good calculator that's going to last you about 7-8 years and can do a lot of functionality, this is your choice right here, the number one, the TI Inspire. But these TI 84 Plus CEs, they're okay if you want to save $5. These are also contain no batteries and they're rechargeable. But make sure that if you're getting a TI 84, make sure you get this kind where it says the CE and not this kind, which is garbage. This one requires batteries. It is not backlit. I am not a big fan of this calculator, but a lot of students accidentally go out and buy these because I think TI is trying to really get rid of all of these things, so they keep pushing them out every year. So again, if you're going to get a TI 84, this is the type I would recommend. But again, if you really want to get a good calculator, this is the one. Here is the $15 or less than $15 calculator that I spoke about earlier, the TI 30X2S. Again, this one right now you can get for literally, I think I saw it at Walmart for $11. So if you're not looking for a big calculator, this is a good one to get. Let's see. Let's get back to the syllabus here. So there's the calculator. The minimum that I would like to see, Casios. I haven't really used Casios in a while, but I think I have one in here. Yeah. Here's one of the Casios that I use. I don't really use it very often. I don't recommend it. I'm more of a TI guy now, but Casios are good as long as it's a 2-line calculator. So be sure to buy a calculator that is a 2-line scientific calculator. So don't buy a business calculator. Don't buy a 1-line calculator. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so I'm done with calculators. Class rules. My class rules are pretty straightforward. If you've been in school and been paying attention, make sure that you're still doing the things that have made you successful to get into a class like this. Have your homework done every day. I give you some time in class to complete the homework. I don't give you the whole time in class to finish the homework. And the homework, the expectation is the next day that we meet, that's when the homework is due. So, and if you're not sure what we're going to do in class, then you always go to Google Classroom, and I'll bring that to you here in a few minutes. So those are some of the rules. I'm going to have a new rule with phones this year where you'll bring your phone in, and I have a table that's actually set up over here, and it'll have your name, it'll have a space, and I have some charging cables if you need to. When you walk in the door, you'll just put your phone on the table until the lecture's over. Then you can grab your phone after the lecture's over. So what I'll do is I'll check and see who doesn't have their phone there. If you don't have your phone there, then I'm assuming that you're absent. But if you are sitting in your desk and you haven't put your phone in there, I'll kind of remind you, please put your phone over there. If you refuse to, then we have to go to Thursday school. So it's super easy. I know what a distraction cell phones have become. I know that we all can't live without them, and I get that. But for while you're in the class, while I'm talking and going over material, I don't want you on your phone or looking at Instagram or whatever it is, TikTok, all those fun things that you guys like looking at. Or better yet, the distractions to help you not learn what you need to be learning. Okay? If you miss a quiz or a test, the expectation is the next day that you're back in class, that's when I want you to take the test or the quiz. If you have a study hall, please let me know ahead of time and say, hey, I've got a study hall on whatever period, then I can have you come in and we'll take the test then. If you miss a review day, that we don't learn anything new on the review day, so please don't ask me, hey, what do I need to do? Or do I get an extra day because I wasn't here and I wasn't able to review? Well, that's what being home's all about. If you're not feeling well, then when you start to feel better, then make sure you review. But again, reviews are just that. They are a review. They're not the time that we learn new material. So really, if you miss a review, then you're just missing an opportunity to refresh your memory on some things. But it's not 100% necessary for you to be successful on the test. This big one right here, be a self-advocate for your learning. Okay? What that means is that you have to look out for number one, you. So if you are not able to take care of yourself, the others that love you very dearly and take care of you outside of the school, they're not going to help you in this class. They're not going to be able to take the test for you or take the quiz for you or do the homework for you. You need to learn to be a self-advocate, especially if you want to go to college. Not everybody has to go to college. But if you wish and choose to go to college later on, you've got to learn to be a great self-advocate for yourself. Okay? All right, so assignments, that's homework. Again, if I assign it in class, it's due the following day. Lab reports, we'll talk about that when we start doing the labs. For the most part, lab reports are typically due the next day. We don't really have any big lab reports that are where you have to write out a big report. That's more for AP chemistry. Please do not use pens when taking a test or a quiz, and all tests and quizzes will be on paper. There'll be a couple that are like multiple choice, and I'll have you use your computer to complete the test or quiz just because it's easier for you and easier for me to grade. So for the most part, everything will be on paper, test and quiz wise. I will hand out packets this year, more for some of you I know love working on the Chromebooks. Some of you like working on paper, so I'm going to give you the option to do either. Extra credit, extra credit. Please don't ask me about extra credit. I don't give out extra credit assignments. I don't give out extra credit points. I do give bonus opportunities during tests, and there you have to actually earn those points because it is chemistry related. So it's not like I'm going to have you write a paper or clean my erasers or whatever garbage that some teachers may do to get you extra points. So the grade that you get is the grade that you earned. So make sure that you are doing what you need to be doing. And please do not wait until the last day to go, what can I do to get my grade to whatever. The lectures, we'll talk about that here in a moment when I go to the Google Classroom. And here are some class norms. So some of the class norms that I have on here, confusion is part of learning. I hate to say it, but you guys don't know everything. That is how you learn, by being confused and wondering what in the world's going on here. The second one, mistakes. You got to learn from your mistakes. You are not perfect. I'm not perfect. But that's how we learn, by making a mistake and then not doing it again. So there's a lot of things on here that I know that you've heard before. This one probably doesn't make any sense, but about the second week it will. So don't worry about that one right now. And when I say always show all your work and all your units, what I'm saying is I want to see not only the math, because this is kind of a math class that's a science class, it's chemistry. I want to see not only the work, but I want you to show me the units. So like if we're talking about grams being converted into moles and then converting those moles into, say, molarity, I got to see the units. I got to see your process of how you're getting there. It's not, what do I type in on the calculator? Here's my number. I don't care about answers. I care about the process. The answer is nice, but again, the process is much better. This honors chemistry is, again, it's an introductory type course. It is not a substitute for a first-year college chemistry course. That's what AP Chemistry is all about. Actually, AP Chemistry is freshman college chemistry. And if you choose to go that route and take AP Chemistry later on, then hey, you don't have to take chemistry your freshman year. Or you can bypass all the science altogether if you're not going to be a science major. So that's an option. We'll talk about that much later. Here is, and again, this is all on Google Classroom, and you should have access to this, or you should get access to your students' information if you don't have access to this. So what I have here, these are all the units that we're going to talk about this year. So I've actually got the schedule, the notes, everything that's already on there. So the schedule, this is our first one, first unit. And again, school starts on August 4th. Here, let me blow this up a little bit so you can see it. So August 4th, we'll do some classroom procedures. We'll do a lab on Thursday, I believe that's the day. And then lecture. So we'll have our first lecture. So the homework, I do have like the Google Docs, but you'll get a printout of this. So it's not like you have to print these out. I'll give you a printout of that information. All the lecture notes, everything I have is already up and going. So if you are not here on August 6th because you have, I don't know, state fair, whatever, there is the lecture. There is the information that we will talk about in class on that day. Anytime you see this lecture here, that is new material. So say if you're gone on August 9th, you're not in class that day, please watch the lecture and complete the homework before you return. Don't walk into class and go, what did we do? Well, we had a lecture, and there's the video that go over it, and you can see how long the lecture is. So they're not very long. I mean, this one's 22 minutes, the next one's 27, this one's, I can't see how long, 30. So, I mean, we have 50 minutes in class, and that's pretty typical of what we'll do every day, as you can see on the schedule. And then we have some review days. So not every day is a lecture. And then the quizzes and the tests. So the first test will be actually August 20th. I do have all this information, again, on Google Classroom for your access. So that's Google Classroom. Let me go back back here. Let's get rid of that. I think it's this guy here. Yeah, so the notes, what's going to happen is I will not print these off for you, but again, these are in Google Classroom. So you'll have all the notes already ready for you to go. And there we go. So I'll give you this information in Google Classroom, and it'll have some introductory type stuff. Again, a link to the video if you need to access the video. Same link that I just showed you here, and the homework's up here, plus a few other things that are actually interesting. And what I'll have within the notes, every once in a while, I'll have some blanks in here. This is for you to fill in as I'm going through the lecture. So it's not necessary for you to just kind of like, just kind of stare off into space, but to kind of keep you somewhat involved. So to have something where you're not writing everything down. So those are the notes. And again, what I'll do is I'll give you some practice problems and then some homework questions. And again, these homework questions will be printed out for you, so you don't have to worry about printing those out. I do sometimes, not always. I will give answers to certain questions, so those are there if you need it. Again, it's not for you to click on and copy down. That doesn't help you. So again, I think that's pretty much everything that I want to talk about. So again, Google Classroom is something that we'll use quite a bit. Actually, let me go to Google Classroom real quickly here. So we'll be here. And so Google Classroom for you guys will look like this, and you'll have to click on that to get to see these things here. So that'll be everything that you'll see in Google Classroom. And I do have a practice test. I usually have a couple practice tests to start off with. Let me scoot that up a little bit. But for the most part, in Google Classroom, it'll have everything that we're doing. So let me see, did I cover everything? Oh, Kami. So Kami, I'll talk more specifically about when we get into class. But if you choose not to use the printouts, Kami is a marvelous app to use in Google Chromebooks. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions, again, my email address is right here, so you can email me anytime. That's probably the preferred method, the way that I check my email more than I check my voicemail. I hardly ever use or look at my phone. So I want to wish you a great year and good luck. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Have a great day.